Hey everyone, Derek here, founder of Gridlock. I want to take about 10 minutes to show you how to set up your own personal Gridlock storage network. This is all free open source technology, and it should be relatively easy for anyone to set this up. Now, this will be a whirlwind tutorial. I will skip over some explanations. I'll try to be as clear as possible, but please feel free to reach out and ask any questions. Before we get started, I do want to talk about what is MPC and what is distributed storage. Distributed storage is simply taking an encryption key and splitting it into pieces so that you are protected from things like single points of failure, like loss. Like if you lose one piece in this type of network, you're still fine. Other things like theft, right? There's a lot of theft out there. A lot of theft comes from things like seed phrases, where people get a seed phrase and steal all funds. This system does not have any seed phrase. It's not subject to that kind of structure. It protects you from mistakes. It protects you from yourself. It is really a great way to store crypto. And this demo will show you how easy it is to set it up. It will have some technical uses of programs like Docker. It will be running terminal commands. If you want something simpler, there is the Gridlock mobile app that you can look at and play around with. But the purpose of this demonstration is really to show you, hey, like this is available for you to use, to build on. We encourage the community to come in and help build on this. This is free open source technology, and that's it. It's for the people. So let's get started by going over just the guide. So this is the demo guide. Ideally, you can run this in under 10 minutes. There's 3 steps. We're going to set up the orchestration node, and that allows us to run this container that will facilitate the communication of all your distributed pieces. The thing that you might know of is guardians. So guardian nodes, these are the ones that actually store a piece of your encryption key. These can run on your computer. They can run on a server. They can run on a phone. For the phone setup, I would encourage you to, again, look at the Gridlock app and download. And this is something it should be easy for anyone to use and to run a guardian. And then finally, the CLI, command line interface, that's just connecting to the network via text, via the terminal. So let's jump right in and get started. So here we're downloading some files, some Docker setup files. We're going to create an internal network for Docker, and then we're just going to run this. And again, this is from the Gridlock orchestration node repository. And we have all this code, and we've built it into a Docker container. So we'll go to a fresh terminal here and go ahead and just paste in this code and get it run. And so you can see here, it quickly downloaded some containers. You can see here it ran NATS. This is another company. It's a distributed communication stack. That's out of the box. And there we go. We created a MongoDB instance as well, and again, that's out of the box. And so you can see here, look, we've connected to NATS, we've connected to Mongo, and this is listening for request. So this is a distributed server, if you will. It is taking requests and facilitating the interaction with the various distributed storage nodes, the various Guardian nodes. So jumping in, going back to the setup. So these are your Guardian nodes, and again, we're downloading some files, some setup files, and then we're just simply going to run it, and it's that simple. So we'll go to a new terminal, and this is the Guardian nodes terminal, and we'll paste in this code, and this is going to run 3 Guardian nodes at once. So it gets a little confusing because it's 3 outputs at once, but you can see this blue is the first one. And this one chose the name Clyde. So Clyde is the first Guardian node. And then we'll scroll down. We'll see number 2 looks like Gladys. It chose the name Gladys. And then number 3 is Delbert. So those are the 3 nodes that we created for this demo. And there we are. We're moving on. So the idea here is we've created 4 different things. We've created 1 orchestration node and 3 Guardian nodes. And this is part of your own personal distributed storage network that you can set up pretty quickly. So we'll go back to the guide. And now we're already on to the last step, setting up the CLI. So what we're going to do first is download some setup steps. So this will help us just have some steps for the demo. And this is not needed unless you're running the demo. And then the next step is just configure. So here's the step. Here's the piece, is that for this demo, we've created these Guardian nodes, and we want to add that information in a way that helps us set up our network. Now, you can normally just kind of do this piece by piece, but here we're doing it chunks at a time. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open a text terminal, and you can see here, this is that demo that we just downloaded, okay? And it's asking for here's Guardians, here's the name, the username, and stuff like that. But then the Guardians, what are the Guardians that we want to run? So let's go back to our Guardians and see where they are. So we'll take the first one, and we'll see is Clyde. Here's that information it's looking for, and this is that same information in one line. So we'll go ahead and copy that, and then go back to our text editor, and let's just paste these in for now. That's the first one, and then we will go back to our Guardians and get the next one. Gladys. Hello, Gladys. Okay, so we'll go do that, and we'll paste in Gladys. All right, and then let's get our last one. So Guardians. We are going to go and get Delbert. And in our text, we'll go ahead and paste that. All right, we're moving along. So what we're going to do now is put this in the format that it wants up here, where there's quotes and then brackets on either side, kind of like that, and then all the information in between. And that's what we've done here. So let's set this up, and there we go. That is the setup. So again, we're going to go ahead and save this. Okay, so save anyway. It's because we downloaded over it. So we have the setup now, and let's go back to the document, and all we have to do now is run the CLI. So the CLI is the same code. There's a Gridlock CLI repo, open source, and you can see what it does. And what we've done is we've packaged this into an npm package, so we can just run that now. So we're back at our terminal, and we'll paste in the CLI. We'll go ahead and download this Gridlock CLI. And while that's downloading, there it's done. So we'll go back here and we'll get the last piece. So Gridlock run example -I for interactive. Okay, back to the terminal. So we just run Gridlock by itself. You can see here, this is the things you can do. You can show your network, you can create users, add Guardians, sign a transaction, verify, start recovery, all of that step. What we're going to do is we're just going to do run example, and that will allow us to go through the entire process now that we have it set up. So we're off. We're running examples. So now we've connected. We've gotten the demo file, and so we're running. The first thing we want to do is create a user. So this is that user. So what you see in the gray here, this is exactly what the CLI will run. This Gridlock create user. Our user is Bertram Guilfoyle, and username and password. So kind of starting the network. So we'll get that. And let's go here first, and we'll jump to the orchestration node. And now you can see we're getting requests on the orchestration node. We've registered a new user. So jump back to the terminal. We can see here, Cloud Guardians. This is that first one. If you remember, we're adding Clyde. And this is exactly the command you can run. You can just run the first bit, Gridlock add Guardian, and it'll guide you through the setup. Or you can just put everything. But this is what we're doing. The example is just showing you how to use the CLI. So we'll add Clyde, and then we're going to go ahead and do another. We're going to add Gladys, and then the last one is Delbert, and we're going to add Delbert. All right, quickly, let's jump over to the orchestration node, and you can see here we've connected, and we've added Guardian, added Guardian, added Guardian over and over again, so we're building our network. And so back to the terminal, back to the example. So now let's take a look at what we've done. So we've added these 3 Guardians, and we have a threshold 3 of 3. Now, 3 of 3 is the bare minimum. This would never be something we'd want to do in production because you need 3 pieces and you have 3 pieces. That means if one goes away, you've lost it. You've lost everything. Now, our default setup is 3 of 5, which means you have 5 pieces out there and you can lose a few. And then that's great. It's great loss protection. Whereas alternatives are, you have this seed phrase backup. You lost your wallet. You have the seed phrase backup. You better hope you can use that to recover. So we're moving on here. And so now we're going to do our first create wallet. Okay, so we're going to click run. And there we go. We've created our first wallet very quickly. Looks like we created a Solana wallet. Here's the address. Let's just go check the orchestration node. And you can see here that we've done some stuff. You can see it's yelling about the number of members in the party because we want more than 3. But the exciting stuff is now we can look at the guardians, and the guardians are actually doing things. All the guardians are signing messages. They're part of the message and then generating a complete key. So this is all working in the background for us. So going back to the terminal. So now we've created the wallet. So now we can go ahead and sign a message, and things, of course, are still happening. And we can look at our guardians to see that we've done a signed session event, and that's all working. So back to terminal, and we'll go ahead and we'll verify. And so yeah, the message is valid, right? Like you can see the code, you can see this actually creating this address is actually verifying this message. This is all working. But this is where it gets really exciting, the simulating a new device, because this is where the magic happens. Again, we talked about the problems of seed phrases. We talked about losing everything, not being able to get access to your crypto. The idea here is that we are deleting all data on this device. It's simulating you losing everything, you forgetting your password, you knowing no information, and then being able to recover. So we're going to go ahead and delete that data, and then we're doing account recovery. And you can see here, we're simply calling Gridlock Start Recovery with the username and this new password. This is different than the password in the past. This password 123 was original, and this is a new one. This is because you might not know your password, but you still can recover through approvals from all of your guardians. So we'll get that started. So we're going to start recovery now, and we've started that recovery, and now we're on to the confirm step. And so what does that look like? So we'll go to the orchestration node, and we can see here that we've started user recovery. Pretty boring, so far. Then we go to the guardians, and we can see here, again, this is 3 different guardians outputting at the same time, so it's kind of hard to read, but there's 3 blocks here. And these 3 blocks, what this is simulating, this is the exact data that the guardian would email to you. And this is all encrypted, so no one can see this data. The only person that can decrypt it is the person that started recovery. So if you start recovery, you have to have access to the email to approve it, and there you go. You're creating that full circle. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna get this first email that was sent. I'm gonna copy that and go to our terminal. And we're gonna paste it in for Clyde. And then we'll go back to our guardians, and we will find the next one, and we'll copy that. Go to our terminal, paste it in for Gladys, and go back to our guardians. And now things are happening whenever we paste it in. If you scroll down, and you can see errors here. What does that mean? That means that everyone in the network is getting this information, right? But when we pasted in for Guardian 1, Clyde, 2 and 3 couldn't read it. They couldn't decrypt it, and so threw an error. And then we did the next one, and 1 and 3, because we pasted it in for number 2. So if we go and get our third Guardian, of course, 1 and 2 will not be able to decrypt it. So we'll go back to our terminal, and we'll paste this in, and there we are. We've done the recovery. The recovery was successful. If we go back to our guardians, you can see that, of course, right here, 1 and 3 were not able to decrypt it, but 2 was. And 2 was able to receive the message and then recover the information. Or excuse me, 3 was able to. Recovery confirmed successfully. That was the third one we did. All right. So what this means is these guardians, they say, okay, we've done this step and we understand we understand who you are. We understand that you're this new person, and go back to our terminal here, and now we want to transfer ownership. So what we're doing here is we're telling the orchestration node, we're telling the entire network, hey, this is this new owner. I want to make this happen, and to do this, I need approvals from enough guardians. Of course, we know we have those approvals, so that works. That happens. It was very quick and easy, and we're moving on. But to prove that it's done, it worked correctly, now this is another signing session. So we're saying, hey, I want to sign using that same address that we had before, and I want to use my same guardians. And we can go here. We're processing this sign session, and then immediately afterwards, we run the verification, and it worked. And again, you can go to your guardians, and you can see that this sign session is happening. It is actually running and working, and that's it. That's all there is, right? Like what we did just now was create a distributed storage network, happen to be running on the same computer. It doesn't have to be. It can be on computers. It can be on phones. It can be on anything. You can run this yourself. You can run this example in less than 10 minutes. And it really shows you how easy it is to use crypto in a safe way, much safer than single points of failure, like seed phrases. And yeah, really encourage everyone to dive in, look at it, check out the tech. It's really cool tech, and it's out there for everyone to use. So yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch this. If you have other questions, my name is Derek, founder of Gridlock. You can check out gridlock.network to look at the app and see all the other stuff, and find our socials, and you can communicate with us there. And yeah, really hope you want to get involved and you like what you've seen. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment or ask me questions in socials, and I'm happy to chat with everyone. Thanks.